Well, in this section, we've got all our new beams installed and ready to go. We've shimmed them up to what's going to be our new deck level. So we're ready to make a pattern for our subdecking. And basically what we're doing is building a little mock-up of the piece of subdeck that we're going to cut, and this will allow us to make it exactly the right shape so it'll fit with all our other pieces and it'll form our new deck edge. So we make our patterns out of about 1/8 inch mahogany door skin material, so it's nice and flexible. And I've gone and lightly nailed down a piece to each beam that's going to be covered by this piece. When we took our deck off, we also at the same time marked where the deck edge was, so that allows us to build our new deck to roughly the same size. What we can do is we can bring out our tabs to that line that we made, and we can lay a batten on when we cut our piece and make a smooth curve from all those points, just like Scotty did with the beams. So these are just little pieces of aluminum sheet metal. So we cut these out and then we reuse them several times. The edges of our piece that are actually straight, I can use the straight pieces of pattern material. For the edges that are curved, like the outside edge, we use the tabs. So I'll bring the tip of the tabs right out to our line that marks our original deck edge. I'll do one tab every 8 inches or so, since this is a long piece. Designing our whole deck, we're not obligated to make it exactly the same. We can actually make it a lot nicer looking if we put fair curves on it. So if you look down the batten, your eye can usually pick out any inconsistencies. Our batten looks pretty good, and we're on to all of our nails except 2. Which means those 2 are probably outliers, so we're gonna just ignore them and strike our fair curve. We've got our 2 pieces are touching over here. Over here we've got an opening about 1/8 of an inch. So what I'll do is just mark the section that I want to plane down. I'll just use a hand plane and just barely go over it. And so we'll take this side where it's touching down a little bit, and then this piece should fit together pretty well. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. I'll also, on this piece we went a little bit wide, cut a little bit wide of our line, so I'll plane this down to join up with the edge of this piece, nice and smooth. So. thickened epoxy. Clear coat all our wooden surfaces so that dry wood will take up just a little bit of the epoxy. And then we'll go around and screw our piece down with our 1/4 inch countersink galvanized screws. And then once we get to the deck edge, what we'll do is build up an area of thickened epoxy, basically fills in any imperfections. Between the screws and the epoxy in 5200 that our shores have pushed our deck edge down into, it'll be down solid.